Well, I think since our president is not here today, I am going to start to be the president.
You are the president.
Well, not yet. I should be given the presidency. I'm just grabbing it right now.
You should be handed the gavel there, so you already have it.
Yeah, which was a contribution of Glenn Willis. Thank you so much. I am president right now. We're starting our meeting. My day! We're going to have the speakers first, because Lois has to go.
Oh.
And Lois, come up and announce the people who are going to read and yourself.
Tonight is a special. You can get my little children's poetry book. Normally it's $5.99 each. You buy and pay for 3 of them, you can get the 4th one free. But only tonight, and you have to buy it right after I finish reading because I have to leave. Away off in the distance toll the chapel bells, and from street corners wait hot roasted smells. Mission doors are closed up tight, packed with nameless souls, and Christmas decorations hang from city poles.
That was beautiful. Thank you, Lois.
Thank you.
In November, we had our contest, which was the 2013 Betty Simmons Short Story Contest. And Laura Hines-Jurgen, I am proud to present you with this award, honorable mention for the electric tree.
Thank you.
Hold it up for the camera. Here we go, a little bit more. Give it time.
A little higher.
Speaker tonight, Ildy.
I am wearing several hats.
Yeah. Which one are you wearing tonight?
Well, tonight I am the president and the speaker.
Speaker, right.
You're going to hear lots of things that you already know, and some things you may not know. The reason it's important to hear again what you already know is because our mind is like shelves. You know, there are things in front of the shelves and there are things back inside in the shelf, which we know, but they're not evident. So when somebody is talking about something that you know already a bunch of things, it brings out the essence of the first row of the shelf. So it brings everything together. So I hope that I can bring some stuff together here for you guys, because there are some very accomplished writers who of course know this better than I do, and there are some budding writers who need to learn. Writing is a form of communication to deliver a message to the reader, right? So if you want to be a published author, before you sit down to write, you must figure out who is your audience. Who can share your knowledge? Who is interested to read what you're going to write? What specific group is your target? Are your targets doctors, scientists, engineers, or professors? Then you probably are a technical writer. Do we have any technical writers here? One of our technical writers, who also does literary writing, is Beth, and she does both actually. But if your targets are children, young adults, or the type of readers who like to be entertained, then you are a literary writer, and probably a fiction writer. As you all know, literary writing might be fiction or non-fiction. However, technical writing is always non-fiction. So we clear this out. What's the difference between the two? Technical writers aim to inform or to assist you in taking specific actions. How to assemble a computer, for instance. On the other hand, literary writers inspire and entertain with some commitment to inform or stimulate the reader's emotions. To me, one is more concrete and the other is more abstract. One is about objects and methods, the other is about feelings, and that's what we're going to focus on today. The same subject, believe it or not, can be treated as technical writing or as literary writing. Let's take, for instance, the subject of climate changes. A literary essay may stimulate or inspire the reader to take action for the environment, yet it's still literary. A technical report on climate changes will have more details to inform the reader about problems, the causes, the implications, and specific steps to take. So I am going to give you some homework. Homework number 1. I encourage you to go home and choose a subject for yourself, any subject. Then write a technical essay about it, and then a literary essay. And it's a great way to keep your skills sharpened. Literary writing can be informal and personal. Technical writing is strict, formal, and impersonal. Literary writing would be prosaic or verbose, but technical writing will use the language in a straightforward manner and present the ideas concisely and, ladies and gentlemen, briefly. Literary writing is humanistic, allow for creative expression or aesthetic beauty. Technical writing is conventional and adheres to formats and standards in presenting empirical information. There are a bunch of branches of the literary writing: action, adventure, comedy, crime, erotica, fantasy, historical, horror, mystery, philosophical, political, romance, saga, satire, science fiction, thriller, and the list goes on, and each of those has a bunch of branches lately. So it's just like an octopus, it's all over. But I promised you that tonight I am going to give you a secret, give out a secret, how to beat a writer's block. Anybody here has or had or is afraid of writer's block? Hands up. Oh, okay. This is going to help you guys. The secret is that, and it sounds very simple, but it works. Always go to your regular place where you write. You know the importance of having the same place, same corner, some area, same time, if you can. And start writing. And of course, there is one rule, that's when you take a pencil, and this is not computer work, this is hand work. When you take your pencil in your hand, start writing, and you cannot stop that pencil, and you cannot pick it up, okay? The pencil has to touch the paper, and it has to go. So what's going to happen? First, you're going to sit there and you say, okay, this is 4 o'clock in the afternoon, I'm starting to write, but you know what, there is nothing that comes to me. I can't write anything. This is stupid. Ildy told me to do that, so I'm doing it. It's a homework, and I'm a good person, and I'm doing my homework, but this is not going anywhere, and I don't think this is going to work. But I am still writing. Okay, what can I do? There is a fly on the ceiling here, and I am itching. And you're going to go to 3-4 pages of this nonsense, of this junk. And then what happens? Suddenly, you not even be aware of it. Something opens, and your writing is start to go somewhere. And there's some feelings, there's some things, there's some, maybe some things from the past. And you start to fly. You know, it's like an airplane who doesn't want to get it. Suddenly, you're flying, and you're writing. And when you finish, the next day you're going to go through it, and you go through the junk, and after the junk you're going to say, oh my God, did I write this? I don't believe it. That's not me. It's like having some higher power taking over. And this is the magic of writing, the magic, the art of writing. So try it, and so far, anybody and everybody who tried this method told me that it was successful. So try it as your homework, number 2, and come back to me, and I would like to know for statistics if it works or if it doesn't work. I'm not going to feel bad if it doesn't work, but I am curious. In the second part of this speech, I am going to talk to you about songwriting, because that's the best. What did I say? Write about what you know the best. Okay, so that's what I know the best. And you know, a few years ago, I wrote an article, Song Lyrics, the Stepchildren of Poetry, and I sent it in to the Writer's Digest. And to my surprise, I got back, it was not really a rejection letter. It says on it, you know, there's a bunch of spaces, the really rejection and the acceptance. And it says here, comes close, but can't consider it right now. Try us again in 12 months. And it was signed. And this lady, Angela, I can't read very well her name here, she did something very nice that I don't think they do that too often. She called me, she followed this up with a telephone call. And she said, listen, I really, really liked what you did here. Unfortunately, 4 months ago, we had a write-up on songwriting, and we cannot do it too close. So contact us in 12 months, and I hope we can do something with it. I never contacted them in 12 months. But I think I'm going to rewrite it. You're going to say, well, who the hell is Ildy Lee to talk about songwriting here? What are her credentials? So I'm going to talk about my credentials and these sneaky ways to to tell you about myself. Modesty was never my best feature. So, Ildy Lee writes in 3 languages. I was 12 years old. It's very short, so don't get scared. 12 years old, I won a contest with a historical poem. The first prize was a camera, and in the communist countries, a camera was a very, very big thing. So for a 12 years old child, that was really very rewarding. So it gave me wings to write. Then, when we arrived as political refugees in my new country, as soon as I knew 50 words in French, I tried to fit them into rhyming patterns. After I got the guitar for my 16th birthday, that was a very big sacrifice from my daddy, I started to write songs. Soon after, I was discovered on TV, won a songwriting contest, and was signed by the biggest record company, Barclay Records. I did have a hit record, opened for megastars, was invited to the Paris Opera to meet the King and the Queen of Belgium, and had my first kiss from Salvador Dali. All this is on the internet, and I give you you can watch it. It's funny. I also met on a Mediterranean cruise a young prince from Morocco who traveled incognito, and the romance flourished between us. I was 18 and he was 19. Wow. And the romance flourished before even I knew who he was. So that was something. I wrote 500 songs in 3 languages. My song David was on a Jerry Lewis telethon and raised money. Another song, the blind guitarist built home for blind and orphan children. And here in the US, I studied the craft of songwriting at UCLA with the biggest authorities on the subject in the country, such as Al Kasha and Buddy Kaye, who wrote Till the End of Times. You guys probably know that one. Yes. So that's how I got to where I am today, and I would like to share with you some of the secrets of songwriting. First, I would like you to take a piece of paper. Michael, could you come here and give everybody a piece of paper? Everybody, hands up, who needs paper and pencil?
Anybody needs a pen, let me.
Everybody has
You need
a
a
piece
pen?
of paper and a pencil? Now, close your eyes. And for a second, imagine some beautiful scenery. A place you like to go. A place maybe that you saw in your dreams. Your favorite vacation place. Or where you kissed your first date, maybe. Go to some very, very beautiful, peaceful, and nice place. Hear what you hear, maybe the breeze or the brook. And now, open your eyes and jot down all your feelings about that place. Jot down a few words. Doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter what. Don't be afraid. Let it go. Let it flow. Colors, sounds. It doesn't have to have any meaning to anybody but you. Okay. Well, ladies and gentlemen, congratulations, because you just wrote a poem. You did. You did. A poem is an expression of your feelings, of who you are. It doesn't have to have any sense for others. Anybody would like to share what you wrote? Don't be shy. Okay.
Song, sunbeams, dew fog racing away from the sun, leaves crinkle under sleeping bag.
Beautiful. Beautiful. It is fun. It reflects your soul. That's what poetry is all about. Anybody else would like to share? Yes.
My name's Margaret, for those I haven't met.
Welcome to the...
I am calm, powerful, and free. Peace, joy, freedom. Unencumbered, not weighed down, just flying. Breathing authenticity, seeing truth. Blinded to lies and tainted visions, uncaged mind.
Wow. You are a poet. Wow. Now, this had meaning to everybody. Also, there, it has meaning to everybody. Sometimes it has no meaning but to you. It's still a poem. Anybody else would like to share? Yes, Van.
Well, mine are weird, but you'll have to
That's okay.
bear
We
with
know
me.
you.
A purple sky, twin moons over rolling meadows, punctuated by tall, flame-colored trees. The sound of unseen waters nearby, a quiet place to sit and muse.
Beautiful, beautiful, wow. What a beautiful soul you have. You hid this from us.
I'll have to use it for something.
You have to, yes, it's
The
beautiful.
contest is coming up.
Oh.
Aha,
The contest is
Poetry.
soon to be.
right, that would be good. Would you like to share with us?
Sure.
I saw you writing a lot.
Hot, sweaty, skinny trees straight up to the sun. Sand underfoot. Fine, silty sand for banks overflow. Twigs snapping on bare legs. Wiry summer sprigs spring from the silt. Leaves yellowed from too much sunlight filtering into fresh growth.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Anybody else would like to share? Yes, Laura.
The people were laughing as the wind mingled its sounds with the running water. I bit into my hot dog as I watched the ball game playing out in the field. Middle mouthful, the ball plumped down on the top of my head and knocked me out.
No nonsense! That really reflects you. Yes, that's a piece of yourself, right? Laura is a no-nonsense person. Wow. Anybody else? Nobody. Okay, I was expecting somebody whose poem would mean nothing to anybody else but that person, but we didn't get that. So you guys are really a notch higher. Many notches higher. But anyway, the difference between a poet or a poem and a song or songwriters is that the poet or the poems, they don't have to mean anything to anybody but you. It's no longer true for a songwriter. A song has to have a universal appeal. Everybody is supposed to understand it and understand really well. Poetry is a proud prince, privileged and bejeweled, crowned by laurel wreath and acclaimed by intellectual aristocracy. His counterpart, the poor cousin, the abandoned brother and forgotten stepchild, is walking the streets barefoot, sleeping in parks, and sometimes making millions on MTV. That's the difference between poem and songs. Hopefully not totally, but basically. The good news is when you're a songwriter, you can make tons of money. When you're a poet, you're going to be poor for the rest of your life. It's not fair. But why is that? Because a song is universal. It has a universal appeal. A poet is much more difficult to understand for other people. So it doesn't touch as many lives. It should, but it doesn't. But poems and songs do share many common ingredients. The number one ingredient is imagery. Both poets and songwriters must learn how to paint with words. Color your scenery with vivid nouns, strong verbs, and sparse but shining adjectives, though there is a war out there against adjectives lately, so be careful with that one. Another ingredient common to both poetry and songwriting is sincerity. Stay true to your feelings. The pedant sacrifices meaning for the sake of the rhyme. If he sounds phony, his audience rejects him immediately. You must write from your own heart. The last but very important common ingredient are the technical tools of any kind of good writing. Here are a few, you all know that, but again, take the shelf example, bringing it in front of in your mind. Involve all your senses, sight, sound, smell, taste, and touch. When you write, let others hear the buzzing of the bee, the buzzy humming of a large city, or the deafening roar of your car engine. Let them see the pastel colors of peaceful sunsets above pink clouds. Make them taste the rich aroma of aged burgundy from your crystal goblet, or a drop of dew on your lover's lips. Let them smell the enchanting fragrance of flowery meadows, the tempting aroma of coffee in the morning, or the fresh scent of newly cut grass. Let them feel the tingling of your skin under a cold shower, the silky caresses of your satin sheets, or the velvety petals of a single rose. Or somebody else. Number two, show versus tell. You all know that. Don't simply state that it was a cold winter night in London in the 1800s, but describe instead the drifting snowflakes dancing in the luminous circle of a gas lamp of a cobblestone street, where stagecoach passes by in perfect silence, as if the hooves of its horses are bandaged by the soft blanket of snow. A reference to the thick fog oozing from the Thames, or the tinkling chimes of the nearby bell tower of Westminster Cathedral tells us that we are in London on a cold winter night in another era, right? We don't have to spell it out. Write the way you talk. Avoid inversions so dear to Shakespeare. We don't say, despite this love knot and its plot, submit my freedom, I will not. Or in more modern setting, can you hear yourself talking to your spouse this way? Because this dish isn't so hot, eat this cold lunch, I will not. Let's fix like this. So, of course, you won't do that. You would say, I will not eat this cold lunch. So, if you're a poet, you must find a rhyme with hunch, right? So, you know, my dear, I got a hunch. I'll never eat this dull, cold lunch. Well, so much for similarities. Now let's examine the differences between poetry and song lyrics, the differences. First, mood versus story. Poetry doesn't have to have a storyline. It can be just a mood, a passing impression, suspended in time. As my poet friend Shelley Stockwell up in the Hill puts it so well, poetry is a spontaneous overflow of rich emotions. However, my professor at UCLA, Buddy Kaye, who wrote Till the End of Times, he said a song is nothing but a 3-minute movie. It has a beginning, a storyline, a body, and an ending. The second major difference is simplicity. Poets love to use unusual, mysterious, or fancy words to give their writing an exotic flavor. An absolute polysyllabic no-no in songwriting. You must be as simple as you possibly can. Short, one-syllable words are the best. The third major difference is clarity. In poetry, you don't spell out everything. You have to hint and let the sometimes frustrated reader meet you halfway. In song lyrics, on the other hand, the songwriter hammers down everything and repeats and repeats and repeats. Why is that? It's because most of the time they use songs as a background music for other activities, working on a computer or talking or other activities. And so you have to hear it over and over and over to get the essence, to get the meaning. So repetition is extremely important in songwriting. And also comparison versus similes. For the same reason of directness, use comparison rather than similes in song lyrics. Don't be obscure. On the other hand, comparisons will slow down or even weaken a strong poem. Example, a comparison, her eyes are shining like diamonds. The simile would say, her diamond eyes. In song, we would say, I was spellbound by her eyes that shone like diamonds. So you have to find the rhyme, diamonds, which is good luck. And in poem, you would say, hypnotized by diamond eyes. I mean, it's a poor example, but it's basically the essence of the difference. The last major difference between poems and song lyrics is in the format. Some poets write entirely in free verse. Others are mathematically precise in rhythm and rhyme. the good news is that to be a songwriter, you don't have to be an expert on iambic measures, hexameters, or alexandrines, and you don't have to know the difference between couplets, triplets, and quadrants. However, I encourage you to visit your local library and figure out all those things. That helps. True. You, as a songwriter, you will use both rhymes and rhythm. As a songwriter, you will establish and follow your own pattern. The one thing that is required from you is to separate your verses from the chorus or the hook. The action moves from verse to verse, and the lyrics are continuing the storyline, but the chorus or the hook is usually the same, music-wise and lyric-wise, so it comes back for you to remember the essence of that song. And some forms are verse, chorus, and that's usually what you usually do. You could do verse, chorus, or verse, chorus, bridge. What the heck is a bridge? The bridge is where you express more abstract feelings or philosophical moments in a song. Believe it or not, in certain songs there are those moments too. And I'm going to show you repetition and how important repetition is. I have a song, for instance. Thank you. Okay, so here is a song, for instance, Butterfly. Butterfly, butterfly, you never learn to fly. You don't know the rules. The game of love sometimes can be cruel. That's a verse, etc. And it goes, and here comes the chorus. Don't go near the fire, forget about the desire. Don't go near the fire, you will burn your wings. Don't go near the fire, etc. So you see the chorus and the verse has to be very different in moods, in rhythm, and in the chorus you put the package in, and you do a lot of repetitions for people to understand. And now I'm going to let you hear a little piece of the same song, how it comes out in studio with studio musicians.
Butterfly, butterfly, you never learn to lie. You don't know the rules. Game of love sometimes can be cruel. You've got to fight. Butterfly, learn to fly. Stop chasing what's shining light. Stop chasing the light. Have your attention in a better direction.
Here comes the chorus.
Don't go near the fire. Forget about desire. Don't fly near the fire. You'll burn your wings. Don't go near the fire. Forget about desire. Don't fly near the fire. You'll burn your wings.
The story continues.
Butterfly, you are the butterfly. I am the fire. Don't come too close. You'll follow your desires.
I'm dangerous.
Don't come too close. Butterfly, learn to fly. Got to learn how to be free. Don't depend on me. I feel I hurt you.
song has to have all this right ingredients, because I bet, don't go near the fire, you still hear it in your ear, can't you?
Right.
So this is a secret for, well, you are more writers, but if you start to work with somebody who does music, the secret is really to capture a musical phase and repeat it, and have very distinct verse and chorus, and the chorus is where you put the package in. And you have to also capture so people can easily retain, because if it's fancy and everybody's trying to be brilliant and great, but you can't relate to it. It's hard to remember. So that's a secret of, now there is a word in songwriting, prosody. Yes?
You said there should be a difference in rhythm and something else between the chorus and the verse? What was the
Yes, well, that's a bridge, what you're talking about. There's a difference between the chorus, and there is a step ahead, which is the bridge, and I'm going to show you on the piano a song that has a bridge.
You have a fantastic voice.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, did you have a...
Well, I did some operettas, I did some stage work.
In France?
Yes, yeah. I was leads in, not opera. Opera is singing to big voice. But operettas are more, that's a lighter.
Light opera.
Yes, not light opera. No, that's opera is when you hear opera, everything is sang. From A to Z, everything. Why did you come here? I came here because I love you. Everything is everything happens in music. In operettas, you say, why did you come here? But I came here because I love you. La 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 la. So that's a difference. But
did your parents sing?
No, but I had a grandfather who was a famous composer, a classical composer. So.
And also to announce the Brentwood Symphony with Alvin Mills, the conductor, she had 2 weeks notice to perform there, and she brought the whole house down, and usually it takes 2 years to practice for that.
Oh, come on.
So let's give her a hand.
So anyway, we were talking about two things here. You were asking about a bridge. The verse is a storyline. The chorus is where you do your repetitions and bring out a few words that repeats. And so that has to be powerful. In between sometimes, there is another element called the bridge. And usually it's in the bridge that you get philosophical, or it takes you in a very different place. There's a word, prosody. Anybody know what prosody is? Prosody. It's when the words are following the music or the mood, when they match. For instance, when you talk about in this, listen to this song, when I'm talking about the storm, and there's, you know, boom, 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 you hear the storm in the music, that's prosody. And when you talk about the love, the lover, then it becomes sweet and tender, and that's a prosody, when the music and the words are in the same page, basically. I got my wonderful piano teacher, by the way, here, Erica.
Are you running out the door?
No, okay. I used to play a lot of classical piano back in time. I used to play like 8 hours, I remember, and there was a time. But then I totally lost. But it's like bicycle, you never really totally lose it. So listen for the prosody. Mood is matching, and also where the chorus comes in. Turns
struggles of every day. Blaming you for failing, don't be afraid to say. Please don't try to hurt me. Don't put me down, it's not the time to judge me. Making mistakes is part of the game. I'm hurting too, even though I might be the one to blame. I know that I'm not perfect, but I do the best I can. So reach out for my hand and say, you understand.
You heard it very well, right? When the storm is coming in. Boom, 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 boom. And when you work with the whole orchestra, then you can do, you know, the tampons and the big booms. So you can reach on top. Yeah. So it's working in a studio, working with musicians, because I do my own arrangements, and you'll see if in my CDs, this one is more studio musicians, and this is not just synthetic, but it's real musicians, guitar players and horn players and whatever, drum.
Orchestra or combo or?
It depends. I use sometimes different different people and different. But this is much more production oriented. And this is sometimes me and my guitar or others. This is my humanistic CD. And you know, I wanted to touch this for a second because it's important. This is in my CD, and I am saying that when we have the privilege to have a platform, we also have serious responsibility towards society, because we become role models that people emulate. So my guitar is a soft vacuum, and I am fighting for humanity causes. And in this CD, there is a song, David, that I wrote about the life of a boy who had muscular dystrophy. It was under Jerry Louis Telethon, and the other one, Howard. He died, but he listened to the song till his last day. Actually, I sang this song in front of 2,000 people up here in PV, and somebody had to wipe his tears away because he was paralyzed from and he was crying of happiness. And he was such a courageous young man who got $200,000 just by making phone calls and talking about muscular dystrophies. That's how powerful he was until his last moment, and he could not move. So we, as songwriters, we can do a lot of good in this world.
What was the name of that song?
Howard. The Old Man's Legacy is another song that helps the homeless. It's a story about a homeless person who lost everything in his life. And he's not the type who was in drugs, he's a type who lost to Uncle Sam his family and his house and everything. And it's a very grabbing song. I Have a Dream is about world peace, human rights, and love to each other. The Blind Guitar Player is a song that built a home for blind children in Mexico City, blind and orphaned children. And I didn't get a penny, I gave all and we did a fundraising, and with the fundraising we could build that house. So that was really great. And Son, Where Was I When You Needed Me? It's about the guilt of absentee father. His son is turning out not good because he doesn't have time to spend with the children. He's running after money. And money is not as important as love. Heaven is about drugs use, and Requiem for Bosnia is about, it's against war and casualties. This is how I fight for human rights and for things good things in life. This doesn't bring you money, but it brings you so much more. And that's what I would encourage you with your talent, with your writing. I know Laura is doing that. She's fighting for the same things. There's a song here about global warming and climate change. Yes. What I would like you guys to do for me, if you would do, is write it down. Go on the website www.youtube.com/Ildy Lee, which is my name, and you will see a bunch of 50 of my songs. And different. Actually, you will see also some of our meetings there. So you can recognize yourself in some of those things. But you will see a row of videos, and so there's an arrow in the end. Push the arrow, it will show you more. Push the arrow again, and it will say 30 more songs. And so if you push that, then you're going to have all my things that are there. And I encourage you to go My French Kiss Yuck from Salvador Dali.
I love it.
It's funny, it's very funny, and it's a true story.
It's in our anthology.
Yeah, it is, and it's a true story. And also there's another one, My Fairy Tale Prince, a real life story that I talked to you about. So go and see as much things and click on this, because that helps me if you guys click on it and watch. That's the only thing I would love to ask. Yes, Brian.
I also highly recommend your videos on Hungarian history, which are up there. They are very good. She came and talked to our high school class about the Hungarian Revolution of 1956, as well as other aspects of Hungary. They're awesome, so I recommend this too.
Thank you.
And I just used it for Model United Nations, so it's good.
Oh, thank you very much, Maria. That's very sweet of you. And by the way, William, you want to do an announcement about your organization? Come up here.
Okay, so I'm the president of the Muskla Club, which I'm wearing the shirt for today.
Spell that out, please.
MUSKWA. It is an organization of students and adults, mostly students though, that are working towards a variety of causes, but our #1 cause is to save the vaquita. And nobody knows what a vaquita is, and that's part of the problem. The vaquita is the most endangered marine mammal in the world. There's actually only about 190 of them left on the planet, in the whole world. And they're a small porpoise, which for those of you who don't know is a pretty close relative of a dolphin. And they live in the Sea of Cortez down in Mexico, between Baja California and Sonora, so up in the Gulf of California. And they are facing extinction within the decade. And the reason for that is because the fishermen in that area are looking for shrimp, and so they put out these big things called gill nets, which just hang under the water like a volleyball net, and the vaquitas accidentally swim into the net and get stuck. So that is a terrible situation, but the good news is that the Mexican government is working on fixing it. They have a safe net that has been designed and funded by the World Wildlife Fund. They are using that safe net to replace the gill nets. The net works through a variety of methods to basically keep vaquitas from getting stuck. So we're working on spreading awareness, make sure people know. We're helping a little bit to raise money to, pass out these nets to the fishermen so they don't need to buy them themselves. So our big event coming up in July, on July 12th, is going to be International Save the Vaquita Day, which we are helping set up. We have our first confirmed venue down in La Paz, Mexico, and we're working on a few more. So last year we had National Save the Vaquita Day with 9 venues, and we hope that it's even bigger this year. So that's
wow.
We are very, very proud of you. You're doing a fabulous job. That's really, really nice. When I first met William, he was so little that his legs didn't touch the floor. But he was already writing his very first book.
Still working on it.
Imagine. Wow. Thank you very much.
Well, he's in our anthology.
Pardon?
He's in our
He's
anthology.
yes. This is our anthology, and we're very proud of it. And so please support the anthology. Ask people to go online to buy it, and ask people to tell their friends. Connie is another person who is doing a fantastic job. I really support very much everybody who is trying to do this planet a little bit a better place to be. And Connie, oh sweetheart, thank you. Connie is one of those people.
First of all, I would like to apologize for not attending the Manusripters meeting for a while. That's because I'm a teacher, and so those of us who are still employed are working double, triple. And so I haven't had time to really attend my meetings and so on, so I apologize, but I do promise to start attending again. So I just wanted to say hi and thank you. I work with Los Angeles Unified School District as a counselor. I work in the inner city, and it's very challenging, but I'm hanging in there.
And you make a difference in many lives.
I'm making a difference in their lives.
Any questions about what we talked about tonight? Yes.
The commercial aspects.
The commercial aspects.
You said that butterfly one was sold, or it was written on a request, or you said it was commercial?
I meant it's commercial because this is a type of songs that would sell.
Have you sold some of your songs?
Well, I had a hit song, my very first record, when I was discovered in France, by Barclay Record, and
can we hear it?
In
French?
Okay. It's in French, of course, yes. But I have CDs in French. I was a little girl, actually. Let me show you. This is what I looked. So with my little guitar and every mother's wish was that their children would be like this little Hungarian refugee girl in the television with the guitar when I started out. And so my songs were very innocent, very college girl type of songs, very pure, very idealistic, and
good.
But the song "Bonsoir Johnny" was a hit because Johnny Hallyday was our Elvis Presley, who I met. He was a gorgeous blonde guy with blue eyes. He was just so smile. He was just gorgeous. And my very first song, I wrote to him, Bonsoir Johnny. And of course that helps the sales. So that's what I said, commercial again, what helps the sales, you know, whether it's a good chorus. But my songs were always well constructed, even before my formal education in songwriting.
And you have a fantastic voice.
You do, very full.
Yeah, thank you.
Well,
I will do some concerts, and hopefully you guys will come and hear me.
Let us know.
Okay, definitely.
And in the meantime, all the tapes I sell you after her interview here will get you by until her next concert.
Don't feel obligated. Okay, so any other questions? Yes, man.
Was it about the time, do you remember the Singing Nun?
Yes, I remember seeing that. It was
that around the time of
It
the
was
Singing
before
Nun?
that.
Before that? Couldn't have been that much before
That makes me very old.
Well, I'm not trying to date you, you know, to age you or anything, but I'm just wondering, you know, what the particular because
It's
different
brings me to
periods
that
have
era,
different-
yes.
I thought, well, what if we put it off a little bit and we don't collect the poems until March, and then we have the awards in April, which is Poetry Month. I thought that was a good idea. And that gives everybody a chance to do poetry, because that's what we have lacked every time.
Thank you.
So I would like to see, I mean, see how easy it is? Just write a few words and cut your line short, you've got it.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
So I want to see I'm your contest chair, or at least I have been for a, what do you call it, a cycle. Someone else can volunteer and take over.
You are the butterfly, I am the fire.